Hey group, how are you guys doing today? Today is so exciting. I will be talking with Rhonda, and I'm really excited because she has an awesome thing that she does. So I can't seem to find my headphones, so hopefully this won't be too echoey. If there are any issues with that, just let me know. Let's see. Rhonda is here, so let's see if it will let me. All right, so welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So I'm using my phone, so it's gonna be just a little bit. So hopefully, I don't know.
Okay. You're fine. Can you hear me?
So welcome everyone. Welcome to 6. The ask where we do our entrepreneurs and stay on at home for their well-being. So thank you though on live. If you have a question, go ahead and post them in the comments. Through those on live, you're gonna get a so replay content. So just go to the comments and well. Again, thank you for on with me today. Do this interview with you.
Sure. No. Can you hear me okay, Amanda?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. You were breaking in a little bit, in and out. So that's why I just wasn't sure if it was my connection or I just wanted to make sure you could hear me.
Yep. I don't know. What do you know?
I know, right?
Go ahead. I actually have a lot of questions for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and start your answers. Or they answer them the best. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
So how are in what?
I didn't get that. You broke out.
Sorry, it's who. Tell us who you are. What do you do?
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Rhonda Brozwick. I think I know most of you in this group because I've been in here, I think, since Amanda started it now. But I live in Buffalo, New York, so on the other side of the country from Amanda. And what I do is I do DNA-based nutrition. I'm with a company that we actually make totally customized nutritional supplements based on every individual's genetic needs.
That is so cool. I love it too. So how did you get started?
How did I get started with it? So it's been kind of a journey for me the past few years, looking into different things for my own personal health. And as I was going and trying different things and doing all kinds of research and different doctors and everything along the way, about a year and a half ago now, I was actually introduced to this custom-made nutrition. And at first I was just like, what? Like most people, that's most people's reaction. And so I looked into it, and because I was like, how can this possibly be made, and I actually took it to a couple of my doctors and took it to my pain management doctor. And the funny thing was, when I took it to her before I was ordering it, she was just like, this is so cool. She goes, she had literally just come back from a whole weekend convention, and it was all on personalized health and the direction that healthcare is going. And she's like, I didn't even know there was anything on the market like this. And at the time, it was still fairly new, only a couple months. So I'm like, well, it's pretty new. So she encouraged me to try it. So I did. I jumped in and tried it. And then got my own results and my own nutrition and my husband's for a couple issues that he has. And I just think it's so unique. And that's how I got involved. And it really was for myself.
That is so of that. Yeah, I'm slightly getting more but I don't really actually have major health issues. So it's health, women things on it for a while. But my husband on the other hand had and you've known you for so long. He basically had a bulge disc vertebrae, and it's bulged. So they basically said surgery. Oh, and arthritis in it, and he's not even that old, like in his early. So, or he can like surgery or may not. And so it's it's breaking my gloves off. Information.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, trust me, I have looked into like everything for my back and the surgeries. I was to 2 different surgeons at different points in time. And both of them basically told me, the one doctor told me to leave his office until I couldn't walk at all. And the second doctor is somebody that we actually got to know. He was one of my son's really good friends, his father. So, so we kind of knew him a little bit. And he was like, oh, well, I'll tell you right now, like he was saying to my husband, if it was my wife, I would tell her not to do the surgery. So he's just like, the thing is, these back surgeries, they only got like a 50% success rate. And even at that, you may not have any pain. You might still have pain. Like they can't guarantee you that. It's so hit or miss. And, as you look into it, I'm sure, with your husband, a lot of it has to do with the inflammation in your body and how your body goes onto inflammation and how your body reacts to inflammation. Which is a lot to do with arthritis too, kind of, going on that. So, it's really helped the things that are in mine because we test for 4 genes that actually target inflammation in the body, which when it came back, it kind of made sense why I was having back pain, right? So it's just so interesting, and now what's getting on, like we have a lot of young people, like millennial generation, getting into it, because if you could find out ahead of time that you had a possibility of getting arthritis, or you have these genes for other types of health issues, because the genes we test for target like powerhouse genes, so inflammation in your body, immunity, your heart, your health, your heart health, stuff like that. So it really, you can do things that it's proven by the science now of nutrigenomics that you can change the gene expression. Can't cure that, but you can change the way that gene expresses itself later in life, through your life, by giving it the proper nutrition early on.
Wow.
Which is kind of,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So how much does DNA affect daily life?
How much does DNA affect? You broke up a little bit.
Yes, sorry. How much does DNA affect?
So these genes that we test truly affect a lot of people every day in their everyday life, because we're right now we're testing for 18 genes that geneticists consider, like I said, powerhouse genes. And that's because they have to do with heart health, they have to do with energy, they have to do with inflammation in your body, which a lot of people know now, not everybody, but it's just becoming so more mainstream, the things that inflammation in our body affects as far as different diseases and and how much we get sick and how we recover and everything else. So inflammation is huge, and so it's testing for all these genes that really affect our everyday life. So, and giving you the nutrition to, overcome those things.
Wow, that is so cool. So I just diet enough.
Oh, diet and exercise are definitely a huge part of it. I mean, it's a whole lifestyle. So you can't just take your customized nutrition and, go out and eat, deep fried chicken wings every night. Since I'm from Buffalo, Buffalo wings are a huge thing here. Or, like, and stuff like that. And of course, you do have to exercise. Like I do personally, I do a lot of physical therapy that I work with a therapist here that she actually does NKT therapy, which is different. I did regular physical therapy, and it actually was putting me back. So, like it's just like anything. You have to find the things that work for your personal body. So I do, my exercises every day. I walk. Movement is important. And as a matter of fact, like we have some really cool things coming out within the next few months, where we're actually going to have a digital platform that they can look into your DNA now. Like this is mind blowing, but they can actually, they're going to have meal plans. They're going to have meals, like recipes targeting, like you're going to be able to go in and look at, these where you have these SNPs or variants in your DNA, and they're going to tell you what meals are best for you. They can actually even tell you what exercises are best for you. Like some people are better doing weightlifting. Some people are best doing cardio. Some are, it's flipped. So I didn't even know that like until like a month ago that they could even tell that which exercise programs are better for us based on our DNA. It's mind blowing.
That is so easy.
I know.
I'm not totally guys. So because I like walking, I hate jogging. I've done things like weightlifting is just no. Like I just don't. Lugging kids, trees, that. I get my exercise, and then diet. Who donuts?
Right.
But,
nobody eats perfect all the time. I mean, truly. I mean, unless you're, maybe an Olympic athlete that's going into the Olympics, you know what I mean? And you're really hardcore training. I mean, nobody is going to. But if you can at least get a guideline, you know what I mean, of which diet plans are good for you, at least you can, have a good balance. And the majority of the time, you know what to eat. And of course, I mean, me and my husband went out for ice cream last night. It's July. Ice cream is my weakness. I'm not going to not have ice cream sometimes.
Right? When you try to get a deal and they
I didn't catch that. You were breaking up too much.
So when you apply or test or however they actually
yeah, so what we do is it's actually a cheek swab, and you send your DNA in. Everything's barcoded and everything, so it's all secure going through the mail to our lab. And then our lab is even HIPAA certified. So it's just like when you go to the doctor, and everything is protected by, HIPAA compliance. So none of your information can ever be sold or shared or anything like that. So it's very safe. And then you actually get a wellness plan. Now I printed mine out. So once they get your DNA and they test it for the genes, they send you this, and it's actually like a 35-page report. And then you get, this is like one of the pages here, and you can see those red, yellow, and green dots and the different genes they tell you. And what that means, that's your results. So if you have a red in a particular gene, that means you got a variant passed down from both of your parents. If you got a yellow, you got it from one of your parents. And if you have a green in that gene, that means it's a good gene and you don't have any variants in it. So you just need the same nutrition like that anybody would need. Obviously, yellow, you need a little more. Red, you need even more. And then the nice thing about this is they actually go through each gene and they'll tell you a little bit about the gene, and they actually give you like dietary recommendations for each gene. So if you want to add different foods into your diet, if you have one gene that's a red, or and you want to add stuff into your diet, they actually give you all of that. And in the back of the reports, they will give you your own personalized supplement. They tell you what gene, how much you're getting down to the microgram of each, what's in your personal supplement, because everybody's different. There's also an appendix in the back. So a lot of people in here probably know about the personalities, right? So if somebody is a real green personality and likes to do their research, like there's over 100 different medical studies that were done. So you can go look up those studies if you want to see like why these certain ingredients were picked for certain genes.
Oh my gosh. Thing.
Tons of information.
I followed along and I just learned something. Thank you for sharing. So and we are going to talk. So I know you started. So why don't you share your crochet?
So I knew you were doing crochet. I think we kind of got to know each other a little bit. And then the one day I just saw you putting something out that you were like teaching and looking for students to try. And I was like, God, my grandmother, when I was a little girl, she used to crochet. And way back then, like she had taught me some simple little things. I remember crocheting with her when I was little. But obviously I haven't crocheted, in years. So when I saw you do that, I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. And I've always been a creative person. Like I always loved art. I actually went to school for graphic design. So creative things have always been an interest to me. So when you put that out there, I messaged you and I was like, I would be interested. Like I really I think this would be fun to learn. And so I got into your class and we did the course and stuff like that. And at first, oh boy, I was bad. It was bad. I was just like, what is this thing? It was crooked and everything else. And I was like, oh my God, Amanda right now is saying, why am I teaching this girl, right? But it was really fun for me to get to learn and bring out a creative side to me again that I haven't done in a long time. So.
Yeah. So you learn about all because everyone learns in their own way. Some people struggle totally different. I find that it breeze 4 lessons and totally wrong. As soon as we get to lesson 10, they're like, I'm lost. Okay, but every time I learn something new, how to work, learn to, and essentially predetermine which lesson is more attention. So totally fine. You are right. Oh my gosh. Right. I was so proud. So proud.
I'm so happy with it because that's my biggest project yet, and I made it for my niece who just had a baby. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to go for it. You know what I mean? And it was my quarantine project. And So, yeah, I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Even my friends, I was sending my friends because we would do Friday night Zooms with our friends, and I would be sitting there crocheting, and they'd be like, are you crocheting? What are you making? Every Friday night I'd be on this Zoom as we're, having a couple drinks and talking, and I'd be crocheting. So I sent them like the picture when I finished it, and they were like, oh my God, like, that's so good. I can't believe you did that.
Like having an accomplishment. That it's like when you're like, I did it. That is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It gives you that sense of accomplishment, and it makes you feel proud, and it's a good stress reliever, boy. It's a great stress reliever because I think it takes your mind off of the stuff because you're concentrating, you know what I mean? And like, me, since I haven't been crocheting for that long, I'm counting and I'm following the pattern like really closely and stuff like that. So it really does take your mind off of other things, and I find it to be a really good stress reliever.
So just aside, how was reading? We do cover that.
How was what?
How was reading you? Did you understand? Was it?
Oh, the patterns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so at first I had a really hard time with patterns. That was one of the things that I was kind of like wasn't sure of. But then the more we did them and stuff like that, and sometimes I'll look at a pattern if I find one online, and I don't know if it's the way they're written, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know, I don't really get that. But I'll look through a pattern first now before I decide I want to make a project. Like I think I looked through probably 10 different baby blanket patterns before I chose this one because I wanted it to look pretty as a pretty pattern too, but I didn't want it to be overly complicated where I was going to get aggravated and annoyed that I couldn't do it. So I think that's a big thing too, is like you kind of push yourself, but you kind of know your limit and stuff like that, and what, figure out what you could do. So when I chose this pattern, it was pretty easy to read, I thought, and stuff like that. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And it's been easier and easier. The more I do and the more patterns I read, I'm finding, I am able to read more and more patterns the more I do it.
Nice. So how does Crochet help?
So Crochet helps me, like I said, it's definitely a stress reliever. So especially, this spring was just like horrendous, right? Stressful and stuff like that. So having this project, and then I actually made a Mother's Day project. I just did some, dishcloths and stuff for her on the side during that time. And it was definitely a big stress reliever and getting my mind off of things. I find it also like some days, I don't know, I'll find like I'm like flitting from here to there or whatever. And crochet really makes me focus on what I'm doing. So then I find that translates into my business also. Like it definitely helps me focus more when I'm working on something.
Nice. So you for years, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's been just maybe a year and a half now, because I think it was like in the November, December when I first started learning with you.
Right, because you were my baby.
Yes.
Right. That was 2019. Okay. So, as you've been crocheting, do you have you like to make?
So I've done a lot of more smaller projects, truthfully. I've done like a lot of washcloths. I just find I can push myself on a washcloth to try like fancier stitches and stuff like that. And, it's a small little washcloth, so it's not like I worried about like making a big thing and then screwing it up and then ripping it out. And, so I do a lot of those. I've done Oh, for Christmas last year, I made your scarves, your pattern for my girlfriends, the infinity scarf. I made one for each of them, and so that was fun. And so the baby blanket was like my biggest project so far. So I started like pushing myself now. Like the scarves were a bigger project, and I've only done one hat, but yeah, I'm starting to push myself. Like I think I want to actually attempt to do a poncho. So.
Oh gosh, message me. I have a few posts that would be great right now. So
Okay.
we'll have a conversation.
All right. Sounds good. I can't wait.
So let's give a or who's interested.
What advice would I give someone who's interested? My advice would be I can tell you, like, I know I've heard you mention this before, and I've gone on Pinterest or Ravelry for patterns, or sometimes, like, if I'm starting something again and I forgot how to do it, like, I can go onto YouTube and look at a video now, but that's because I have the background. Like, I think if I hadn't learned it from you and with you helping me, and I know I would send you questions sometimes, and it was easy because you could see my hands and you could see my work and what I was doing. Where if I was just watching the YouTube video, I wouldn't understand what I was doing wrong because they're just showing you how to do it and they're not telling you why what you did was wrong. So I can do that now to a certain point because I have the background of you teaching me how to do it and how not to do it. But it would be very confusing, I think, to teach yourself just from YouTube videos on your own. I think it would be a harder road. I think I've gotten as far as I did because I did take the lessons with you, quicker. So I was able to go on to bigger projects and stuff like that.
Agreed. I got off YouTube 14. What? I learned things the wrong way. It took me years to correct, and it took me the part of the ACA to reverse a lot of I learned because I know stitches and it was confusing. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, I don't. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoy being in your group. It's fun. I love seeing other people's projects. It gives me ideas. I think the first crochet along or no, it was one of the things you did. I kind of was in over my head and I was like, oh God, no. But then we did the scarf thing and that was fun. And it was fun seeing other people's variations. And then we just did that little, the purse or travel to go case, and that was fun because at first I'm not a big tassel person. It's just my personality. I mean, everybody likes different things, and I had seen, but then I forget who it was in the group that put that in with the button. And I was like, oh my God, like I love that idea. Like, so then it was something I hadn't thought of on my own, but it's fun in being in the group and seeing people's different variations and ideas, and it gives you ideas on what to do then. And it gave me, I guess, courage too, to like change up a pattern instead of like just thinking I had to do it exactly the way a pattern is written. You can kind of make it your own. So that's been fun.
As a designer, we love things like that. As we like, and in the process, try different variations. We say, okay, so good. Here's good at, and me, I did try stuff, and it just right. And because and it's I felt hassle adds to keep it but if somebody else presses the button, and I think it was linked to I'm fine with it. I love it. So happy. So all of that, sharing, where can viewers find you?
So you can find me. I do have a Facebook page. It's DNA Global with Rhonda. So I do have it. If you're friends with me, it is, there is a link to it on my homepage also. And there's tons of videos and tons of information about the DNA-based nutrition if anybody's interested. And, I'm also happy to just, connect with people and be friends. If anybody wants to connect with me, feel free to send me a friend request. The more the merrier, I feel.
Awesome. Well, again, I'm out here for episode. If anybody wants a woman in today, like to, I do have episodes of so and send it or a and up with eats and how. Again, if you in the comment for Rhonda, so if you have a pop in and you want to shout out, we have Isabel on, and we know how to live. Thank you for was so again, thank you, and Rhonda, and have an.
You too. Thanks for having me, Amanda.
You're welcome.
Bye.